All he wants is a second chance.
Now you want a second chance? Now you want a second chance? Cause you see that being in prison is not it. Now you want a second chance? You should have thought of that before you did what you did, TK. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Shut up, bitch!
What up, y'all? It's your boy Darren, man. We back with another reaction video, man. Today we finna be reacting to TK and how his life sentence became like basically a life sentence, but 55 year sentence, and how like it started to all the way to now. And I feel like this is a good reaction to react to because he recently got sentenced to 55 years. Hey man, that's crazy. 55 years is crazy. I like what? 55 though? That's a lot. But I'm not gonna waste no more time. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, man. And let's get into the video.
Last 6 years out of a 55-year sentence given to
full story of TK.
Prior to this, he was on house arrest for 8 months.
This man was in prison for 6 years, bro. And then, god dang, bro.
Suddenly, he sent out a tweet stating he had it.
He said, F this house arrest. 12, they gon' have to catch me on hood.
Enough.
This man was a
he and his best
menace.
friend cut off their ankle monitors and said they were going on the run, and if police wanted them, they were gonna have to come find them.
This man was a menace, bro.
It would take U.S. Marshals a 3-month nationwide search when they
a 3-month nationwide search is crazy.
With TK taunting them every step of the way. Eventually, on June 30th, 2017, he was captured, but he had one more trick up his sleeve to show the world. Just hours after his arrest, a music video to his song titled The Race was published on a YouTube channel. After social media got a hold of it, there was no going back. Almost overnight,
this man, I don't know if y'all remember, but this man put out a music video while on the run. That's why I say he's a menace. This man posted a music video while he was on the run. Who does that? Like who? He basically saying, catch me. I want to go to jail. Or he just don't care. Or he just got that mentality saying like, man, I don't care, man. I'm already, man. Already did this, already did that, man. I'm out, man. This man want to be a living legend or something, bro.
Viral hit on his hands. People were now tuning into this story of a 17-year-old kid who ran from the police, made songs about it, and you couldn't even help but watch it.
That's crazy.
But nobody at the time knew the severity of his crimes. The blood of 2 innocent people had been shed.
This man was 17 too. Now he like 25 because 2025.
The judge announced his 55-year prison sentence for the murder of Ethan Walker.
Now at 22 years old, he says he never had the chance to be an adult. One of his co-defendants, who was a white female, only got 10 years of probation. But TK was ultimately sentenced to 55 years.
Of course you never got to be an adult because you wanted to do stuff as a little kid that you probably gonna regret.
Harsh punishment.
Regret.
All he wants is a second chance.
You got the world going crazy right now.
Now you want a second chance? Now you want a second chance? Cause you see that being in prison is not it. Now you want a second chance? You should have thought of that before you did what you did, TK. I'm not gonna lie to you. But this man got 55 years, bro. That is a long time, bro. I'm trying to figure out how you gonna escape from that, bro. I mean, not escape from it, but get out of it.
McIntyre was born June 16, 2000 in Long Beach, California, in Deep Crips territory. Both of his parents were gang members.
Oh, he was born in California?
Was in and out of prison. His mom was still active with the Baby Insane Crips while raising the 2 kids, him and his sister Kayla. But things really took a turn for the worse when his dad was doing a 7-year run in prison for a deal gone bad in 2002. Without a father figure around, it was hard for him to find guidance. Eventually, their mom was unable to raise them, and they soon found themselves in the foster care system, bouncing around from different families.
So I see why he. I see why he.
Been in foster care since we were like really young, like damn near all our life. We never stayed with our parents. We kind of stayed in different foster homes, bouncing around.
This was him and his sister's.
So you gotta think about it, like he was bouncing around in foster homes. He didn't know what was wrong from what was right. You know what I'm saying? Like he only did what he felt like it was natural to him. So that's why I feel like he did what he did. But I did not know he was in some foster home. I didn't know both of his parents was gang members. I did not know that, bro. What the hell?
Childhood as they stayed in the foster care system, and they said they never really experienced Christmas as a kid. Eventually, his mom did escape the gang life.
What
and
the
she
heck,
relocated
bro?
the family
He
about
looked
4
like a
hours
good
away
kid,
to Las
though.
Vegas. They ended up only spending about a year there until 2009, and that's because his
You
dad
play
was released
football?
after serving his 7 years. Being forced to Texas was the last thing they wanted, but Tamor was enrolled in elementary school and then eventually middle school. Still, he and his sister felt trapped with their dad, who by now had started to abuse them badly for the smallest things. He
What?
didn't want to think about it and he wanted to be anywhere else but home, so he stayed at friends' houses as much as he could. Now the streets welcomed him,
And
and he
then
welcomed the
he stayed at friends' houses which was bad influence. You know what I'm saying? He probably was being around a lot of stuff that he wasn't supposed to be around, and then he got addicted. That's what happens, bro.
streets.
Bitch, I'm 15 and I don't fuck with 12. All you niggas Microsoft, so tell me.
In 2014, he was a freshman at Martin High School, but most of his time was spent freestyling with his friends. They called themselves the Daytona Boys. They were rowdy and loud and would rap and smoke weed whether they went to school that day or ditched. Three people
This
made
man
up
like
the
2
Daytona
years older than me,
Boys:
so he about
Eric
like
Johnson or
25 now.
Santana Sage, Jalen Bell or Pimps, and Tamor, who now rapped as TK47. In addition, they had a manager named Ezra who was important to the team and handled everything behind the scenes. To them, Daytona Boys was a brotherhood, and the group knew they had something special.
What
So
the
they
heck,
figured,
bro?
why not start uploading on SoundCloud? But even with music in his life,
They should
he
have
couldn't
kept
stay
going
out
with
of
music,
trouble.
bro. They should
This
have
old
never
tweet
like
shows a
did
letter of him
no
being expelled from high
crimes,
school after he
bro.
brought marijuana on grounds. He didn't want to go back to school and he couldn't go back home, so nothing really mattered.
Now I remember
TK would
seeing
often
that
sleep
white boy
over
in
Pimp's
music
house at
videos and
night, and
stuff.
after
I
being kicked
remember
out of
that.
high school, they only grew closer. He was on his own at 15 years old. Now his full attention was on his music and social media, pushing the Daytona Boys as much as he could, being seen in interviews before anyone even knew who they were.
Take 47 from Daytona Boys.
Pimpies from Daytona Boys.
Ain't okay. He would have been big if he never went to jail. If he never did this time. If he was out. If he stayed out, he would have been big. He would have been one of the biggest. Like one of the biggest in this generation right here. Because you could tell he had a lot of like inspirations on a lot of rappers that came after him. Like he was like that for real. Take It was like that. Like his music wasn't trash either. Like his music was hard. And he probably would have got better. He would have got better. Would have got better. He was like I would say he was probably on. He was gonna be on the run like YoungBoy had. You know what I'm saying? Cause YoungBoy, at least he stayed out of trouble as much as he could throughout his music career. Even though he's still in the music career, he stayed out of trouble a good amount of time. But TK, he just ended it all after being in that jail for 6 long. But god dang, 6 years.
And with their manager's help, they were even booking shows.
Since
After the shows
2017.
would run into 2 a.m. into the night, they were in the streets doing what they believed they had to do, robbing, stealing, and toting guns. And anyone who got in their way would learn with death.
What?
Shooting involved
This
in
man would just
exchange
kill
of words
somebody?
between 2 carloads of people who just left a party New Year's morning 2016.
On December 31st, 2015, the Daytona Boys were at a New Year's show in Arlington and finished around 2 a.m.
Oh,
Santana
why
Sage was
kill
the only one in
somebody
the car,
though?
and he always drove everyone around, with TK and Pimps in the front and back. They left and pulled up to a stoplight when another vehicle pulled alongside them. From here forward, it's unsure what exactly happened next. But we do know that Santana Sage fired a gun into the other vehicle, killing a 21-year-old college student, Sarah Mushlanger, in cold blood, driving off with TK and Pimps as the passengers. He was later arrested after police used his Twitter account.
Why
to
did he
match the
kill a
vehicle.
girl,
Series
bro?
of Twitter posts that they say led them to Johnson all the way from this New Year's Eve party that they say he attended.
His defense was that the Daytona Boys were being called racial slurs by the other car, and that provoked Santana. But he only meant to scare them with the gunshots. But it didn't matter.
Why did
The
he
innocent
kill
girl
that
was
little
dead, and her
girl?
parents were left to wonder why.
We'll be okay.
TK and Pimps, however, were both minors and faced no charges. Their names weren't even mentioned in court. And when you can just walk away from something that big, it makes you feel invincible. After
Yeah,
a
sweet.
6-month trial, a jury
Yeah,
only took
it makes you feel invincible because you're a kid. But once you're not a kid no more, they don't care. Like I ain't gonna care. Once you 16, 15, really, it don't even matter, bro. At this point, if you freaking kill somebody, you either going to juvie, and then after you get to a certain age, they're gonna put you in the big boy jail, or like you going straight to the big boy jail. You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't know why they felt invincible, bro. Now look at you. You got 55 years, bro. You could have had a good career. Now you got 55 years. God dang, take
8 hours to find Santana Sage guilty and gave him 44 years in prison.
44 years. God. See, he had 44 years. Now TK got 55.
Guilty of the offense of murder.
But if I was seeing this and I was seeing one of my friends or homeboys or anything get 44 years for doing that, bro, I'm not finna do the same thing. I'm not finna kill somebody. I'm finna stay out of trouble and make my music. I'm finna make my music. Or we could rap whatever we rapping. Like I can throw up my set and all that if I'm with all that. But I'm not doing no killing, bro. I'm not being associated with no killing, bro. I'm just doing music, bro. I don't know why he just didn't focus on music and just help his family just get out whatever situation they was in, bro. This man just did not care, bro.
TK was still only 15 years old at that time. He had no money, nowhere to live, and was not legally allowed to work. He needed a way to survive, and he had to do something.
What did he do? He started selling?
On July 26, 2016, TK, Pimps, and 5 others would formulate a plan. Sean Robinson, Lotharian Merritt, Ariana Barrett, Megan Holt, and a minor named Mia. Together, they made a plan to rob Mia's boyfriend, 17-year-old Zachary Bellet, while he was inside of his home. Their plan would go like this. Zachary and his roommate...
So the girl freaking betrayed her boyfriend, so they all robbed? That's messed up, bro. Like, bro, that is scary, bro. Like, when you in a relationship, bro, you're not going to expect your girlfriend to, like, rob you, bro, and get people to rob you, bro. That's why you need to look out, bro. It don't matter who it is. You gotta watch your back with anybody. You gotta depend on yourself, man. Cause you never know if somebody gonna turn on your back. You never know, bro. You never know if somebody gonna snake you out, boy. You gotta keep your eyes open, 10 toes down.
And Ethan were staying at a house
Got to, boy.
on the 1500 block of Mansfield, Texas. TK and the 6 others met in an apartment where they gathered weapons and talked over the plan. Pimps got brass knuckles and
wait. How does this man know all this? Is he a part of them? How does he know all this information? He looked it up and didn't do the video? Like, what the heck?
Grabbed guns. TK was unarmed and says he told the group to have his back in case anything went down. Mia and her 2 friends, Ariana and Megan, left to Zachary's house around 5 p.m. They made it seem as if they just wanted to smoke and hang out. But what Zachary didn't know was that TK, Pimps, Sean, and Lotharian were waiting down the street in a car for a text message. It seemed simple enough, but that night their plans quickly fell apart.
How'd it fall apart?
When the 3 girls arrived, they were surprised to see there was a lot more people in the home than they expected, and this pushed their plans back by hours. But they couldn't wait forever. 10 p.m. was approaching. TK and the others became impatient as well.
They was deep in there, like the boyfriend wasn't by himself. That's why you don't try to rob people, boy. You never know what's going, like, you never know what you're going to run into. You feel what I'm saying?
Feeling like it was now or never, the girls decided to go ahead with their plan and made their way to the door to unlock it when no one was looking. 4 men burst into the home, 2 of them armed with guns. Sean held Zachary at gunpoint, and Lotharian held Ethan Walker at gunpoint, with TK and Pimps still looking for anything of value, but they came short of what they were promised. The next few minutes happened fast, but when they hesitated, Lotharian panicked, and without even remember doing it, he shot Ethan Walker in the stomach, killing him. Sean would panic at the same time after hearing the first shot go off, and he would shoot Zachary, striking him in his shoulder, but only injuring him. They knew they messed up, and it was only a matter of time of when they got caught. In this now famous video that shows TK crying during his interrogation, prosecutors and investigators were trying to figure out what exactly happened that night.
What you crying for, man? You feel like you living that life? Like, what you cry? You feel what I'm saying? Like, you no need to cry, boy.
He finally broke down and admitted to robbing, but he says he never shot or knew that anyone would be killed.
New at 6, video of teen rapper TK as police question him about his role in a deadly home invasion in Mansfield.
He had just turned 16 years old and was being held in juvenile detention for 2 weeks until an adult could pick him up. His sister Kayla had just bought her apartment after saving up for months and could now be his guardian since she turned 18.
I had got my apartment. Like I said, we didn't have a lot of family like that. In Kimbo, you get released. Juveniles get released. at some point they're gonna get released. You know, so like he got released to me. I had my apartment. I was 18.
He was officially released by a juvenile court judge only if he agreed to wear a constant surveillance ankle monitor. Pimps was also released on house arrest and stayed close with TK, where they would talk online every night. Police kept Kayla's apartment on constant surveillance and pulled over anyone
Man, you should
who
just
left their building.
kept the ankle monitor on, did whatever you needed to do in it so you could get that junk off, bro. Instead, you just want to go on a race. You want to rip off your ankle monitor. You want to do some more YN shit. You want to do all that. Now you got 55 years. Now what you gonna do? Ain't okay. They might shorten his years. It might not just be like 55 years straight. They might shorten his years, but like, God dang, 55, bro. Like once I'm done with 51, once I'm done with one of the years, I'm like, damn, I'm at 54. I'm not even freaking. God dang, I still got. God dang, I don't know what I would do, but I'm not gonna lie to you.
TK spent most of his time online, tweeting out things like this, asking his friends to come over and record since he was on house arrest. Releasing only a few songs on SoundCloud at the time, he was saving the rest for something else. The world hadn't really heard of TK's name yet, but he saw a marketing opportunity where nobody else did. From July of 2016 all the way to March of 2017, almost 8 months, he stayed locked in his room, thinking about his next move. The stress was getting to him. Although
That's
only
crazy.
16, he was looking to be charged as an adult. He had no lawyer, no money, and didn't know what was going to happen to him. Then he had an idea.
Dang. He's about to be charged. And I told you, once you get to a certain age, they gonna throw you in the. They gonna start charging you as an adult. That's why you're not supposed to do stuff, man. Don't matter how old you are. That song was hard, though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
On Sunday,
That song was
March
hard.
26, 2017, late into the night, TK would post this now infamous tweet saying he was done with house arrest, and social media would spread it
This
around.
man is a menace,
He
bro.
called Pimps and the two made a plan. They would both cut their ankle monitors off and make it clear to the world that this was all a game to them. And if police wanted them, they
That's
were going to have to
crazy.
play hide and seek. They needed to get out of town, and their first stop would be 3 hours away in San Antonio, where they laid low for a few weeks. TK had no regard for being wanted. He was spotted by fans at malls or even ordering food at local spots. Pimps
That's
had been
crazy.
messaging a photographer for a few days named Mark Salvador, who lived around the San Antonio area, and they were planning to meet up to take pictures. But in reality, TK and Pimps needed money, and they planned to rob an innocent man of his camera equipment. They planned to meet around 5 p.m. near an empty parking garage. Mark would show up and hop into the car to smoke, and when he got inside, they would take everything he had and then forcefully kick him out of the vehicle. But when this went down, things didn't go according to plan.
That's crazy,
Again.
man.
Mark began yelling as loud as he could for help, and he ran toward the street. They sped up after him, trying to run him over, but he landed on the hood and held on as they drove off. They had to pull into a Chick-fil-A parking lot nearby.
Not gonna lie, y'all. My junk was freezing up, and I didn't even peep. I don't even know how long it was freezing up. I didn't even peep how long it was freezing up. And I got like 9 more minutes of this video.
To get him off. When the car stopped, Mark got up, stomped on the windshield as hard as he could, breaking it. This agitated TK, and he allegedly leaned out the window and shot him, flinging his body onto the ground and leaving him there to die, unknowing that this was all captured by nearby
This man
surveillance.
got mad and just shot
Now
at
only
him.
one thing mattered to TK and Pimps. They had the camera equipment and a little bit of money to get to their next stop, but they needed to stop by home in Arlington first.
See, man.
By now,
Nah, I bet he
police had
regret
already
all this,
tied
bro.
TK and Pimps to the murder of Mark from last month at
He
Chick-fil-A.
probably regret all this.
Realizing they needed to leave immediately, they planned to go on a 23-hour car ride to New Jersey, where they knew a few people and a place to stay.
Who
Any
did they
money
know?
had left would be used just to get there, and they needed every dollar. He even had someone willing to do a music video for free if he went to Jersey. By now, it was early June. Police were receiving tips on his
This man
whereabouts,
just wanted to
posting
show where he
warning
was
posters
at,
in
but he
areas
did
they
not
believed the
care.
two to be. Of course, TK only saw this as another marketing opportunity and decided to make a song about his race from the police.
He saw it as a market opportunity. When he saw it as a market opportunity, you know what he did? created a song called The Race. I'm the TK. He's running around. He's showing the
this man, and he still got a box.
Poke fun at the whole process of
he still got a box to this day.
It was perfect timing, and to make it better, he wanted to release the song on his birthday. Those following his SoundCloud and Twitter were the first to hear the song, but there was no video just yet. TK, along with the help of a cameraman, would film the music video to The Race the following day, and he didn't charge him a penny for it. It would only take about a day to edit the video, but it was ready.
This man recorded a video for TK for free, bro.
Spent their last weeks of freedom hiding and eluding the law in New Jersey.
For free?
Marshals could tell they were getting close to capturing him, and at this point, it was simply a matter of when.
Exactly. Let me start doing that. Let me not do that, because I don't know. I really don't know what that means. I might
a total of 3 months spanning 96 days, and the race had finally ended June 30th, 2017.
They caught him.
But TK still had one more trick up his sleeve, and he wanted the whole world to know his story before he went down. Just 2 hours after he was arrested, the music video to The Race was uploaded to YouTube. The story of the shooter kid who ran from the U.S. Marshals and filmed a music video.
Man, was a menace, bro. He did not care.
Social media pushed it to every corner of the internet. People couldn't help but tune into the song as it was getting hundreds of thousands of views every day, showing no signs of slowing down. Some of the first remixes and endorsements by other rappers showed up, and the hashtag #FreeTK was being posted, but nobody really acknowledged what he was now facing. Now, law enforcement wanted to make an example.
I don't know why they saying free take. That man not gonna be free.
The crime of murder. A month after being arrested, a judge
ruled killed somebody. He was on the race.
Years old. But in the outside world, the race had gotten almost 20 million views by now,
boy.
and some record labels were taking notice. He would still sign a deal amid 2 murder charges. Using all of his past songs,
signed a deal having 2 murder charges.
Headlining the project.
God dang.
It was very successful. Over the course of the next 6 months, the race would accumulate over 100 million views, including a remix from 21 Savage and Young Nudy, making him one of the only artists in history to have
21 Savage and Young Nudy definitely did make a remix.
Yet he still appeared to have high hopes of beating his case and coming out the other side a free man. To him, living in jail was only a temporary thing, and he would soon be out.
Well, he don't got a box no more. He had cut his hair.
Sentences for the 2016 murder of Ethan Walker began being handed out.
You know who I wish made a song, bro? I wish YoungBoy and TK made a song, but that would have been hard, bro. If TK never went down like how he went down, bro, they would have. I'm pretty sure they would have made a song. They would have been made a song. I feel like he would have made a song with YoungBoy. He would have made a song. He would probably been cool with Melly. He probably would have been cool with a lot of people. Who else? There's a couple more people, but I feel like he'd been cool with a lot of people that, you know, beyond that. You feel what I'm saying?
The first to go down was Megan Holt, who was sentenced to 20 years in February.
God, what she do? She don't even look like, you know what I'm saying?
While Mia, Zach's girlfriend, had been cooperating and working closely with the police, and in exchange was only given a 10-year probation sentence. The dominoes around TK were starting to fall. He had already been denied bond, and now the state district judge was upset with the internet's support for him. Here's what he said. It's my understanding that people throughout this country have free TK signs up, and this court has a problem with that. Just after his bail was denied, Letharian Merritt was also sentenced to 40 years after being named the person who shot Ethan Walker.
So where this man homeboy at?
Later in June, the media reported that TK was being sued by Mark Salvador's parents for $1 million in damages for the Chick-fil-A killing. This is after finding out he had become a superstar since his capture almost a year before. The following month in July,
where his main homeboy at?
Zachary Below
Did he got years too?
$1 million from the profits made off of the race.
Cause didn't he cut off his income on him?
22 was able to get an exclusive 10-minute phone interview from jail where TK would tell the world he was going to be out soon.
That's crazy to think about it. You probably would have already seen the
this
world.
Man
right
just
now.
lied. So I said he's gonna be out soon.
There's crazy amount of opportunities to be available to you right
now.
now.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I mean, next year will be there. I'm gonna be out soon.
You gonna be out soon? You gonna cap? This man is capping, bro. Why would you cap like that?
But during this interview, he also made a huge mistake by admitting he had an iPad in his jail cell.
I got a tablet. Like, I got an iPad. I be listening to music in it.
Just days later, he would have a shakedown where the iPad was found, with Adam later even stating he felt guilty for it happening.
The management did not ask me to remove the part where he talked about having an iPad. And so then he gets in solitary, all kinds of whatever additional charges because he had an iPad, and he's just in jail using the iPad.
By August, TK transferred from the Tarrant County Jail in Texas to
this man might be the goofiest, dumbest person I know. Why would you say that in an interview? Not tell the person that's interviewing you, don't put that in. I wouldn't even say that in the first place. If I'm caught up in all that, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing, bro.
Maximum security Long Evans Correction Center, being put into a solitary confinement cell for 23 hours a day. But he never lost his positive optimism, and he posted a picture of himself on Twitter. The caption read, "Live from the gates of hell."
This man knew he was in hell.
The murder charges for Ethan Walker were coming to a close, and another sentence was handed to Ariana Barrett for aggravated robbery. In exchange for her testifying against the remaining 3 men, she was only given 25 years. A week after that, Sean Robinson was given 40 years for the murder. Pimps and TK were still left waiting for their sentence. Both indicted for the second murder charge of Mark Salvador.
There goes his homeboy.
Pimps was even offered a deal to testify against TK, but he never turned his back. To him, it was still a brotherhood there, and loyalty was forever. But in November of 2018, Pimps would pay the ultimate price for his crimes, pleading guilty to 2 counts of aggravated robbery of Ethan Walker and Mark Salvador, being given 30 years. Just like
he was given 30 and TK was given 55. God dang.
Wanted to know what was going to happen to him.
If you really think about it, that's a gap.
As much as he wanted to know.
The jury deliberated for a little longer than 3 hours today here before deciding on that 55-year sentence. That song that
in July of 2019, his trial finally began.
That's exactly why I'm finna start doing other videos other than reacting. That's why I'm finna start doing IRLs, bro. Now I'm finna start like playing people 1-on-1 basketball or 3-on-3 with a whole bunch of people. Just going to different parts. Like I'm finna start doing stuff like that, bro. And I need to start vlogging too, or like doing like pranks and stuff. I need to start doing something different.
Of evidence
other than this, bro. I can't keep, you know what I'm saying?
Prosecutors had a strong case. He pleaded guilty for aggravated robbery, but not the murder. His defense argued that he was a minor who played the least significant role.
And this man got rolls behind his head.
Heard enough. The lyrics for the race were legally being used against him, and they even stated that he thrived off the violence and showed no remorse for his actions. His trial only lasted 1 week, and by that Friday, the jury unanimously decided that he was guilty. Tamor says he was only 16 and misguided at the time when this all happened, claiming he was never given a chance to be an adult. His misguided childhood is sad, but should never be used as an excuse for taking the lives of others. Turning 22 years old from behind a cell, TK has definitely matured and is more open to talking about his treatment in prison. And he argues the question, is he rightfully owed a second chance to make things right?
Alright, y'all, that's it for this video, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, man. Hey, man, I'm not finna waste no more time, bro. I'm telling you. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.